Well, it is Wednesday, and here on KPXJ, that means it's time for your money. Joining us today in studio is Micah Tipton with Evans Financial Group. Micah, thanks as always for hanging out with us today. Giving Colin a little break.
Hey, great to be here.
Oh yeah, great to have you. And today, we're talking about the top 3 questions about retirement that could make all the difference in your future. So I'll ask you question number 1, Micah. Will I have enough to last?
That's definitely the question we get the most from people when they come in the office. I mean, that's a huge thing. You've saved all this money for your whole life, and now you have to turn it into income. How do I know it's going to last? And part of that is having an income plan. Being able to see how that money is going to be spent. How much will be left. At X, Y, Z time in your retirement, and being able to see a plan like that is important. We've had couples that came in and they've got this magic number of $2 million to be able to retire, and the reality is once we put an income plan together, they may not need nearly as much as that. We actually had that happen a few months ago, and having that plan just gives people peace of mind to know that they have what they need to make it through retirement, through taxes and inflation and all the other risks that are out there.
Yeah, and you don't want to spend your retirement worrying, right? That plan gives you great ease of mind, so we love that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Number 2, when should I take Social Security?
Yeah, that's kind of a loaded question. We get it all the time because in reality it's very different for each individual that we talk to. There's a number of factors. Most importantly, when do you actually plan to retire? That may dictate when you want to take it, but you can take it as early as 62, as late as 70. And the reality is there's a 30% increase in that benefit if you wait until 70.
Okay.
But there's factors that could come into play like health, longevity in your family. How long do you expect to live? So when we sit down with people, that's really a very it's a conversation that's unique to each person because there's factors that play in there. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach for Social Security planning.
And you mentioned health, and this is probably the toughest question. What if healthcare costs drain my savings? And that's a real concern.
Yeah, it is. The reality there is the average couple that retires at 65 is going to have about $300,000 in medical expenses. Yep. And that doesn't include long-term care. Now, Medicare is going to help with some of that, but it's not going to pay for all of those expenses. We have supplements to pay for. And so making sure that people have enough money to cover that, as part of an income plan. Again, retirement planning lays a path out for retirement. The income plan, that's going to lay the path out for how they can spend their money and making sure health care and things of that nature are factored into it. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure people have a lot more than just 3 questions. If they're looking for answers, how can they get a hold of you guys?
Yeah, you can find us at evansfinancial.com, or you can send us an email, info@evansfinancial.com.
All right, always good stuff, Micah. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Let's go to Patrick.